Yeah, my guy, he may have forgotten his own name at this point, but I didn't. It's Chris Olave coming off the board at wide receiver
Oh, that
31.
was dirty.
I understand, and I just kind of alluded to it. He just had his 5th concussion last year, but the dude's still the wide receiver 1 of the New Orleans Saints. I'll take a wide receiver 1 at wide receiver 31 prices. If he can, not get hurt, if a team can finally recognize that, hey, this guy's pretty good at running routes, we don't just have to have him run nines and posts every time, and we could just let him get creative and put him in positions where he doesn't have to get himself hit.
Yeah.
Derek Carr not throwing hospital balls would also be pretty sick. He's approaching Peyton Manning levels of king of hospital ball throwers to me. But again, when I can just get a guy I know is the team's wide receiver 1 with really no true threat to his target share at this point, I'm not going to not take that at wide receiver 31. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's for the last, 3 years now, we've been taking him in drafts as a top 15, top 20 wide receiver pretty consistently.
But he never is one.
That's fine.
He was borderline top 15 his rookie year.
Right, but I mean, listen, I like the shout out, and I wish Chris Olave all the best. But honestly, when that team was healthy at the start of the year, he wasn't even their best wide receiver.
Yeah, that's true.
He wasn't their best wide receiver to start the year.
Production-wise, yeah.
I'm not buying into Rashid Shaheed getting a couple long touchdowns. I'll just say that.
I gotta tell you, I think Chris Olave is a really good wide receiver 2 in the NFL. I just don't think he's a wide receiver 1, and I don't think he ever will be. I think he just struggles in a lot of different areas that he shouldn't. And the hype was there for him, right? And we do draft him as a top 15, top 20 guy every year, and we hardly ever get that production out of him. And again, you can only blame the situation so much. He is the wide receiver 1, and for a while, it really was him or nothing. And it's still, so most of the time, was nothing. He has big games here and there. I just don't love the route running and the separating ability of Chris Olave. And now you're adding in these concussions, dude. And that's scary. And I'm not trying to beleaguer the guy, for his medical mishaps, but at some point this dude's brain is going to turn to mush and he's going to have to retire, because you cannot have that many concussions and have a doctor realistically expect to clear you in any sort of way that
Tua's still got a job.
Yeah,
but Tua's on number 2 or 3, right? Olave's on 5.
He had 3 in a week.
Yeah, but Olave's on 5, 5 real knockouts. This is bad. This.
Yeah, it's not great.
This is starting to border on like a humanity crisis.
My thought, I'm so mixed on Olave because I loved him coming out of Ohio State. I have a ton of Olave in Dynasty. I did trade him off a couple of places last year because the price did get too high for him. I agree. I didn't have any Olave redraft shares the last 2 seasons. I traded him off a couple of times when his Dynasty share got very, very high as well. But at wide receiver 31, I'm with you, Jake. I'm all the fuck back in. It's a crazy price. And here's the thing we got to remember about this situation and how this changes now. Kellen Moore is now the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is the one who re-unlocked Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen had one of his best seasons at age 30 plus with Justin Herbert a couple years ago, because Kellen's you can not just run the power slot, but you can also run in wide receiver sets and multiple different functions. I think he's going to use Olave all over the place. And despite the Eagles wide receivers not having the best seasons last year, they were used really great. I loved what Devonta Smith was doing, running inside the slot, outside the slot. Same with AJ Brown. It was just they had a running back who was setting a crazy pace, and they knew, halfway through the season, we're going for the record here. So I'm with you, Jake. I think Chris Olave, this is a great pick.